This is a harp guitar, which all of the companies, in particular Gibson, in the first part of the 20th century, thought was going to be the next big thing. It seemed like a good idea. If you described it on paper, it would seem perfect. You add bass strings to a regular guitar, and so you just increase the capabilities of bass notes. It frees your left hand so that it doesn't always have to provide a bass note in a chord. But it turned out to be a little more difficult to play than the designers realized. But this one was made by the Larson brothers of Chicago, who were prolific guitar makers, but never made anything with their own name on it. They bought a company from a fellow named Maurer to start with, and then they supplied guitars for William Stahl and for the Dyer Company, and that's who this was made for, William Dyer of St. Paul, Minnesota. And the design really goes back to a fellow named Chris Knutson, but his were a little more primitive. The Larsons perfected the flat top style. Gibson's, like all Gibson guitars of the period, had a carved top and were a little bit different. So the idea is to just add some bass strings. You could actually make them higher than the low E string. You could make that, say, an F or an F sharp. But I think the more practical thing would be to make it lower. So if you play along in E for a while, if you go decide you want to play in D and you want to do a drop D, you can make that your drop D. Forget that. Yeah. And back in E, when you go to the C sharp, instead of having to go up a sixth for your bass note, you could tune a string down here to the C sharp. But as you can see, it takes a little practice and a wide stroke and some of the skill of a harpist to pick out the right string. So these guitars were a little more expensive than a regular guitar. They were harder to carry around because they were bigger, and just a little bit harder to play. So they never really caught on, but they sure attract attention, and they're good conversation pieces. So yeah, on the back, basic guitar, and then here are the tuners for the harp strings.